Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Define Disaster. This is Battlefield 1, and in today's weapon review, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Selbstlader M1916 Marksman, what is quickly becoming my favorite gun to use as medic in Battlefield 1. We're going to be taking a close look at the stats that this gun offers, as well as how to best equip it to get the most out of it on the battlefield. Getting straight into the stats of the M1916 Marksman, starting off with the damage model, we have a maximum damage of 40 here and a minimum damage of 35, giving us a guaranteed 3-shot kill at all ranges. Not only that, but thanks to the high initial damage of 40 going all the way out to roughly 26 meters, we're going to be able to get usually a 2-shot kill in close quarter if the target's been slightly softened up by some of the random grenade spam that's usually happening in Battlefield 1. Further on then to the fire rate, this is where the gun kind of slows down. It's not as good as most competition out there at 224 rounds per minute. This is a relatively slow fire rate, but what this reminds me of nicely is the MK mod from Battlefield 4. That too had a relatively slow fire rate when comparing to most DMRs out there, yet it was one of the best DMRs in the game, and this is a similar story with the M1916, as you will see as we continue out with the stats. Moving on then to muzzle velocity. At 800 meters per second, this is one of the fastest muzzle velocities available to the DMRs, and to think about it, this is faster than any sniper rifle was in Battlefield 4, certainly capable of doing some serious damage to moving targets at longer ranges. Next up then we have the magazine size with a record-breaking 26 bullets and a standard fed magazine. That is to say, when you reload this gun, independent of how many bullets you have left, you will reload the whole mag, which means you don't have to go through reloading clips and single bullets, which usually takes you longer. Not only that, but 26 bullets is enough to take out an entire squad of enemy players. You're not going to be running dry with this gun when it comes to ammunition, and this is one of the main factors that keeps me away from a number of the other DMRs out there. They're capable of taking on 1, maybe 2 targets, and that's it. With this DMR, you can just keep going until you feel bored and decide to do a quick reload. Speaking of that reload, then it is relatively fast, with a short reload that is with 1 or more bullets left at 2.3 seconds. This is relatively compatible even in Battlefield 4 terms. The long reload is a little bit longer at 4.3 seconds, but given that you have such a huge magazine, you won't usually be doing this reload unless you are absolutely sure that there is absolutely nobody in your vicinity that you can kill or could kill you. We have a relatively boring recoil pattern here. That's to say, relatively simple in that we have a vertical recoil of 1 and a recoil to the left and right of 0.3. Now this isn't the lowest recoil of the DMRs out there, but it isn't the highest, and it is anything that you shouldn't be able to control with relative ease. Moving on then to the accuracy of this gun, this is typical for a DMR, of course very good. With a normal spread at 0.12, this gun is not only very accurate at long range thanks to its higher muzzle velocity, but at all ranges in general, with the ADS spread being very low. Not only that, but you can use this gun while moving a little bit. Its ADS isn't that great, but for medium ranges or close quarters at 1.02, that's aiming down sight while moving, you'll be hitting most of your shots nevertheless. Last but not least, then we have Hipfire. Worth mentioning, obviously a DMR is not going to be great at it, but nevertheless we're going to state it here at 2.5. That's hip firing and moving at the same time. For close quarter situations you may be able to rely on it. However, if you possibly can, feel free to aim down sight. It will guarantee you more likely to get a kill. Then why do I like this gun besides its very good stats? Well, frankly, it's also a question of optic. The optic that you have on this gun allows for highly precise shots at all ranges, and thanks to the new options in Battlefield 4 to turn up or down your magnification within, of course, a certain range, you can turn down the magnification of this gun all the way down to 2.5. That means this DMR is perfect for medium range, and all that while retaining a very good and clear sight that you can use for all range purpose target engagement. Now frankly, this is the bare scope of this gun. This is the basic statistics of why it's good. Another factor is it simply feels good. This is the gun I feel I am most effective with on the battlefield, and this is not only shared by me but a number of other YouTubers and of course my closer friends with which I play Battlefield 1 on a daily basis. So should you try this gun out, definitely, most likely you're going to get stuck with it and use it permanently. Therefore, I definitely recommend unlocking it as soon as you possibly can. Regarding attachments, to give a brief input on there is obviously not much to be said here. Camo of your choice, bayonet if you choose to be stabby about things. Frankly, I'd go for the lowest possible magnification on the optic that you can, and of course a reticle of your choice. A quick side note here is you shouldn't be firing a DMR, whichever DMR it may be, as fast as you possibly can unless you are in close quarter. This is a general DMR firing tactic because of course, spread increase that applies to DMRs both in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. I just wanted to mention it at this point, so just in case you were having difficulties with this DMR, now you'd probably know why. But with all that being said, I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video. I'd like to hear from you down below in the comments regarding your video suggestions, weapon review suggestions, and your experience with the DMRs, the medic weapons in Battlefield 1, and of course this specific one, the Selbstlader M1916 Marksman. With all that being said, at this point, I'd like to thank you once more again for watching and hope to see you in the next Battlefield 1 video.